Hi everyone, Joshua Kirk here with you once again, and now it's time for episode 272 of Album of the Day, in which for today's album review I'm going to be discussing an Atlanta rapper who some of you may know as being cousins with the very popular rapper 21 Savage, and he's been around for at least half a decade now, releasing several mixtapes and just now releasing his debut full-length album. Of course, I am talking about the rapper known as Young Nudy, and I'm here to review his debut album released on February 24th, 2020, and the album is called Anyways. I've kind of heard about Young Nudy a little in the past. I know he made an appearance on that Dreamville Revenge of the Dreamers compilation project, and he's also been featured on projects by people like Playboy Cardi, who are kind of in similar wheelhouse of his, of very not so lyrical, but yet very kind of fun and catchy trap rap and rap. What really kind of inspired me to hear this new record was seeing Ryan from Not Real Music give this a very positive review, and so that's sort of how I found out that he had released this project, which kudos to him for, introducing me to this album, because if it weren't for him, I probably wouldn't have known. I would have just missed it automatically. So I went ahead and listened to the record, and I will say I'm definitely very impressed by what I heard on it. Like I said, the kind of music he plays, it's not very lyrical, and it can be a little bit repetitive. So this is definitely not for the hip hop purist per se. But I will say that Nudy still delivers lots of personality, some charisma, and also raps over some fantastic beats that are kind of psychedelic and sort of trippy and at times somewhat eerie. So there's definitely a little bit of horrorcore elements going on to the beats as well. Now, as much as I love the album, there's not really much to say about it. I mean, stylistically, it is a little bit thin, and like I said, it is a little bit repetitive. So, for this review, I'm going to do things a little different. Instead of doing the usual track-by-track overview that I would normally do in my reviews, for this one, I'm just going to basically talk about not the whole track list, but like certain songs that really stand out as highlights on here, and maybe some other tracks as well. So yeah, without further ado, let's just, get right into the album. I think I should start things off by talking about my favorite track here, Blue Cheese Salad. Easily the best hook on the record. Lyrics are pretty dope on the track as well. Love the sort of psychedelic wooziness of the beat. It's definitely got a kind of hypnotic swell to it that I absolutely love. And even though this record isn't an incredibly lyrical project, there still are moments where Nudy does talk about, his background, sort of where he comes from, on cuts like Understanding, or the track A Nudy Story, where he seems to be rapping about his complicated relationship with his father, or something like that. Also, fantastic hook on that track, right there. The line of "Growed up to be a real gorilla, ain't shit like 'em" is definitely he's definitely snapped on that line, for sure. And also the beat very much complements this vibe very well. And then he also sort of goes pretty deep into his emotions on tracks like this, or the song Deeper Than Rap, where he's going as far to say sort of the music that he's doing in terms of its style to him is most definitely deeper than rap. deeper than rap, and it's definitely moments like this where you really do like care about him, and he sort of feels like your friend on this album, which I think is really cool as well. Uh, and songs like Deeper Than Rap, I think, show that very well. Uh, how even though this record he does mostly rap on the entire thing, there still are moments where Nudy's singing skills do come up on tracks like That's Why. I mean, he's not the best singer in the world, but he does come through with a very catchy I got him, I got him, I got him. I got him, I got him, I got him. Like, it opens the song on a very cool note over some dreamy pianos and, some really beautiful layers of synths. Full layers of synths. Also, a fantastic hook on there. I think the flow on there is absolutely insane. So Nudy also does sing quite a bit on the track I Won't Flex. In fact, he pretty much sings for the entire song, but yet it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb among the rest of the track list. It actually fits in with the flow of it very well. So his hook of I flex won't flex with no purpose, won't flex with no purpose. It's kind of eerie and really kind of locks into your brain in such a cool way. So it makes sense the beat is also very just kind of creepy and sort of it sounds like something you would put in a trap flavored horror film or something like that. Yeah. So, and I think he flows in such a dope way on this track. It's definitely one of the highlights here, even if it is one of the more low-key cuts on the record compared to some of the more aggressive moments on the record, like the track No Comprende, where where he definitely is showing off his braggadocio in such a cool way. Even though this is one of my least favorite tracks here, for one, I find the kind of fuzzy synths to be a little bit annoying. Not my favorite beat on the record, doesn't quite gel with Nudy's delivery that well, and also Nudy's delivery on this track is definitely kind of at one of its more underwhelming moments here. However, I do really like his verse and his flow, like near the end of the track, is definitely very impressive. I will say the more hardcore vibes are much better shown on a track like Fuck Me Mean, where the hook is just so in your face, as is his bars and all his cool little wow 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 mad lips. Ad libs are definitely very nice as well. Like I think some of his ad libbing on the record really does show, just how much fun he's having, and it really just feels like his own personality. I mean, you can near the end of Blue Cheese Salad, you can kind of hear him laugh and stuff like that. You can tell just he's just having absolute fun with his music here, and I just love to see that. So just love to see that. Another track. Another track that does have a kind of hypnotic swell to the beat would have to be the song Influencer. Yet another one of my least favorite tracks here. I think the track is just a little bit underwhelming, even though I do think it is fine. I think some of the ideas on there are really cool, just, they're not really played to their strengths here, really. Yeah, I should, however, highlight a couple more of my favorite tracks here. I love the title track. It's got a great hook. It's got a really killer beat. It's certainly one of my favorites, and just how melodic it is. It is a fantastic flow on there, and the album closes on quite a bit of a high note with the track "Do It With the," which do it with one of my favorite beats on here. I love some of the sort of like jazz influences that are brought into the beat here. Definitely has a bit of a jazz fusion sort of vibe to it with the Mellotron flutes and the Fender Rhodes piano put over some trap drums, which somehow works very well. Very well. Overall, I thought this was a very good debut. And this is the kind of record where, if Nudy wasn't very well known in the past, hopefully this album will help sort of get his name out there. He totally deserves to be bigger than he already is, for sure. So for sure. I know this review was incredibly efficient, probably one of the shortest reviews I've done in years, but, just really there's not that much to add to the conversation when it comes to young Nudy. He just does some really solid, just very fun and catchy trap music. The album is a little bit long. It's over an hour across 16 songs, which I know is pretty typical for a lot of trap records these days, but somehow there manages to be very little in the way of duds in the track list in there. I'm not saying there aren't some duds. I also will say the song Marathon is another track where the fuzziness of the beat is a little bit obnoxious, even though I do like Nudy's delivery on there. But, the album actually has a flow and, feels cohesive. And also I will say, I do kind of, like my trap albums to be over and, like, I don't mind them being over an hour. It's like when it's like an hour and 15 minutes where it kind of makes me a little bit nervous, but, I really think that having it just over an hour definitely helps it feel very cohesive. So I will say, and I just think it's a great project. I'm going with a light 8 out of 10 for this new Young Nudy album. Anyways, and I'll see you for episode 273.